Hello everybody, my name is Zen, and welcome back to our 101 series of guides for Heroes of the Storm. In this guide, we will be discussing hero roles and what they all mean. We will also touch briefly on team composition, but this is a bit more of an advanced concept that we will revisit later. In Heroes of the Storm, there are 4 separate roles that individual heroes will fulfill: Warrior, Assassin, Specialist, and Support. As an overarching concept, each hero is given one individual role that it fulfills. However, it is common for specific heroes to blur the lines between the different roles, such as a specialist that could be considered an assassin. Let's start by discussing warriors. Warriors are generally considered to be characters that get the attention of the enemy team and soak up a ton of damage that would otherwise be put on your other teammates. You'll often hear warriors referred to as tanks, and most warriors are quite hard to kill. To counter this strength of theirs, warriors don't usually do as much damage as other heroes. But just like all of the other different roles, there are exceptions to this rule, such as Sonya, who could put out a ton of damage at the cost of some survivability in relation to the other warriors. Warriors are also melee characters, which means they will be in the middle of all the action, and they usually have abilities that help them initiate team fights. This allows the rest of the team to remain protected as they follow in behind the warrior. If you are playing a warrior, you need to focus on protecting your squishier teammates from the enemy, and absorbing as much damage as you can without dying. Next, we have Assassins. Assassins are going to be your team's primary source of damage. Assassins can usually put out a large amount of burst damage and could be both melee or ranged. Most assassins forfeit most of their survivability for raw damage by default, but some extra survivability can be gained through individual talents. Assassins also tend to be very mobile or have the ability to stealth, sometimes both in the case of Zeratul. It's important to know that stealthed heroes are not completely invisible, and you can see a faint shimmer that becomes more visible the faster they are moving. Stealth heroes will be made visible if they take any damage. Let's move on to Specialists, who are not unlike Assassins. They can generally do a lot of hero damage and help fulfill the role of damage dealers on your team, although Specialists are usually really good at killing minions, mercenaries, and buildings. Some specialists have talents that allow them to drain ammo from base towers. Sylvanas is a specialist that can turn off towers and forts with her Black Arrow passive. It completely stops them from attacking. If you leave an enemy specialist alone in lane, you can expect to return to a base that is either destroyed or close to it. The damage output of specialists won't usually compete with assassins, but they can really wreak tons of havoc if played well. Heroes that are specialists can also occupy more supporting roles, such as Abathur. You will almost never see Abathur in a fight, but he will always be a looming presence that can easily turn the tide in a team fight without you ever realizing it. Finally, we have the support role. Support characters are usually capable of healing and keeping your team nice and healthy, but never underestimate the damage output of a support character. Rhaegar and Tassadar are both examples of support characters that could easily kill you if you are caught unaware. As a support, it's your job to keep your team alive to the best of your ability, and you will also need to be aware of teammates that might be in trouble on other parts of the map. A support that is well played can often have a huge effect on the outcome of any game. Generally speaking, a good starting spot for building a team would be one warrior, one support, and a mix of specialists and assassins. Depending on certain hero combinations, you'll come across compositions that utilize 2 supports or even 2 warriors instead of adding an extra assassin or specialist. Team composition is something that will always be changing based on what the current metagame is. As I mentioned earlier, we will be covering team composition to a greater degree in a future guide, where we will also be able to talk about hero synergies and counterpicking the enemy team. If you guys have any questions regarding the different hero roles within Heroes of the Storm, then ask them in the comments below and I'll respond as soon as I can. But with all of that being said, we shall see you guys next time.